Hi, hello everybody. I am Leah with Charlie Darwin Textiles, and I'm so excited today to share some really fun sewing projects I'm working on, some things I'm going to bring to your life so that your sewing projects can go a little bit better. I have a lot to share. I'm so excited. I'm drinking my favorite cinnamon tea from Kroger. And so I'm just getting all cozy. I'm wearing my black wren shirt today and settling in because we're getting into the fall vibes. Let's talk about some fun things that are coming soon, like the new pattern is going to be announced here, as well as some new fabric colors I'm so excited to show you. And I'm kind of starting to work on a new program that I think will be more holistic and all-encompassing to help you start building your dream linen wardrobe or plant-based wardrobe. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that and a little bit about my mindset for the fall season, because I think every season I tend to flow through sort of different mindsets of things that are keeping me calm or inspired or less neurotic, and maybe there'll be some stuff for you to borrow from it as well. So then new exciting news that I can't wait to share with you is that you all have picked the next sewing pattern that I'm going to digitize. I put out a thing a few weeks ago, a video and an email asking which of my current designs do you want me to digitize and sell as a sewing pattern next. And drum roll, if you aren't already on my email newsletter and you already know the answer, the new sewing pattern is going to be the OLENE joggers. So let me explain a little bit what that is going to look like. It is going to be a pants pattern that can be variable from, you could either make it long pants, cropped length pants, so like a little bit shorter than the full length, or shorts. So we are going to do elastic waistband around the back and around the side, but then in the majority of the front portion here, it's going to be a flat front, which I think a lot of people find to feel and look a lot more flattering and comfortable on their body. And then the front pockets are really cool. There's basically a center front seam as well as a side seam, and that's where this pocket is going to get nested into. And it has like a real nice diagonal with a thick binding on it. It's going to feel very professional and luxury, but be very simple to sew and very satisfying and quick to sew. So I'm excited to show you how to do that. And I'm also excited to show you how to do the center front seam is going to be a flat felled seam. So if you haven't tried that yet, this will be your time to try it out. A flat felled seam is much more, I'd say, professional, high luxury. You don't feel any of that rough fabric edge or anything in there. And it'll also be an opportunity to use the selvage edge of your fabric if you're one of my selvage edge peeps who loves adding that little faux fray to everything. I have a video about it you could check out. This is going to be a great spot to put that. Again, we're going to have different length variations. I'm also going to show you at the ankle hem different ways to do it. We have the variation to do the elastic, so it's more jogger cinched in, or just do a straight leg ankle, so no elastic, it's just going to kind of fall straight down, real simple, comfy, or drawstring in here at the ankle, or you could do like the straight leg and then roll it up and have a button flap thing that will hold the roll up. That's kind of like a cute, fun detail to add in. And I'll also have drawstrings optional at the top, but they'll be more decorative rather than have like a huge function. But some people just really like the kind of like comfy cash look of drawstrings up here. So right now with that pattern, I have already digitized the pattern, graded it for all the sizes, which I might have more sizes, a bigger size range this time. I'm gonna try and test it out with some larger sizes than I even had before. So I think I'm up to like 13 different sizes now. And I have the instructions written, the illustrations drawn, and I've sent it off to my pattern testers to start perfecting for us, to help us really make sure that the pattern's in tip-top shape, that the instructions make sense, that I'm not just spewing gibberish and crap all over the internet to you all. They're gonna get it looking really good, and they're also going to be making these pants in like their own cool variations with their own fabrics, and they'll send me pictures of how they styled it. So later we'll be able to see what some cool inspo is for this pattern. I'm this week going to be filming the sewing tutorial for this pattern, which is always a beast of a project because it basically takes, I could sew these pants in probably 1.5 to 2 hours because I'm pretty quick at it at this point, but I have to really slow it down because I have to explain each step in detail and make sure my camera batteries are all working and charged and switching out the SD cards, making sure the lighting is just right. So it's a process, but it is fun and totally worth it to be able to provide you all with a visual aid if you want to kind of upgrade to get that along with the pattern. So along with this launch of this new sewing pattern, I will also be launching at the same time new fabric colors. So this is exciting for everyone who's interested in buying my sewing kits, which are so nice and so simple for you to just jump into the project because I give you the notions like the thread and the elastics and the fabric, which is really freaking nice linen fabric, 100% linen and medium weight, and it's dyed with pigments from plants if you choose one of those colors. And I give you, of course, the printed pattern and instructions in the video tutorial along with that. So with these kits though, I have a lot of fabric, right, to prepare. And on the last sewing pattern, the Finch sewing pattern, way more people bought the kits than I anticipated. I think I planned for like 15 people to buy the sewing kits and like 78 people did. So I wasn't ready. But that also meant I had a lot of fabric to dye because I was hand dyeing all of my naturally dyed fabrics right here in my like home studio. And that I got through it, I did it. It went well enough. Some things were a little delayed, but this time around I knew I really wanted to outsource the dyeing of the fabric to someone else. It's not my favorite part of my business, nor do I think it's like my biggest talent in my business. I think I'm a lot better at some other stuff. So I'm super excited. This time around I've put all my sewing kits out of stock for a little while, and they're going to come back in stock at this new pattern launch. You'll be able to get any of my patterns as the sewing kit in my new dye colors, because by outsourcing I also got to kind of pick new colors. I got lots of options that I could pick from this small business who's doing it for me, and I'm just so excited. So let me show you what I picked out, what colors, because they're going to be a little bit different than what I've been offering in the past. Not crazy different, but there are some new ones that I think you're going to like. And I'm really just going to be showing you what I ordered, but I haven't gotten that fabric back yet. I think I sent them like 180 yards of my really nice pre-softened linen fabric. And so I'm still waiting to get that back. But in the meantime, I can show you at least from the swatches which colors I picked. They just might look a little bit different on my final fabric because it's a different base fabric than what's in this swatch book. So, okay, so the first color I chose is to kind of replace this is gonna be instead of my Kutch pink. I do like having a peach pink salmon color, but this one's gonna be more bold. This one is called Pumpkin. Very excited for that. Now, I think mine's gonna be a little more bold and yellow than this because I originally ordered this color and then I switched to one that's a little bit more like rich and earthy. But a yellow is going to be coming to Charlie Darwin. So I actually ended up ordering something called ochre, I think. and it'll be pretty close to this, but a little bit more rich, earthy, yellow. Let's see. Fingers crossed. All right, then I ordered, to replace my tea gray color, this is going to be, I think it's called Sage Green. And it is this one right here. It's kind of like a gray with a little hint of green to it. Let's see how it comes back again from the shipment I sent, but it's kind of like a gray, a light gray that leans green. Really pretty, really kind of just like dusty in all the best ways. And then I'm going to be, on just this time around, I was only feeling so risky, so I'm still going to dye one color myself this time around, and I'm probably going to outsource it on the next batch, but I will still have my really dark, I'll show you like in comparison, this is my really dark charcoal gray, and that's really nice for fall, so I'll be dyeing that one myself. I'll have that one in the collection. In addition to the faves that sold out so quickly on the last launch, which is dark indigo and a light indigo fabric. These will probably come back looking the same as they do right here because I've done it with them before on my fabric, so I know how it'll turn out. And then I always have my undyed options for everyone, which is black. It's not undyed. This one is technically commercially dyed. It's not plant dyed. It is AZO free, so it's free of all of the most harmful chemicals that could be in your dyes. So this is a great option if you want like true black. Then I've got my undyed natural white as compared to, I also sell like pure bleach white fabric. As I was preparing for this video, I remembered that in a previous video, I had teased different fabrics. This was probably like a year ago, honestly. I had shown you all some like swatches of different like stripes and checkers of like undyed linen that I was gonna add in, and I just wanted to like wrap that up for you that sometimes ideas in my business I feel really excited about or strongly about, and then there's a roadblock, and this was one of them. I was in cahoots with this company who was gonna sell it to me, going back and forth in conversation, and I honestly just got kind of spooked because it would be shipping from overseas, and I had to order like a bulk order with a minimum quantity that was really large, and just the concept of shipping that much fabric overseas at that quantity freaked me out, and I was like, I'm not doing it. So for now, these are just on the back burner. If you're really interested in these, just, you know, they might have their time at some point, but I'm not quite ready for that. But yeah, the kits, because I'm ordering quantities ahead of time, the sewing kits will pretty much have a limited stock to them. And once a color runs out, it will kind of run out, and then it'll be on pre-order for the next batch I get in. So there's still people who are actually waiting for indigo fabric from the Finch launch right now, which thank you so much for your patience, and it is coming soon. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm operating, and I'm not sure it's how I want to do it for the long term. Basically having a limited quantity, once it runs out, you can pre-order, and it would come in like 6 to 8 weeks. That just so that I can get the fabric out and get it returned to me, basically. I'm not sure if that's how I want to do it. If you have a better idea, you've seen someone else run their business a different way, and you have an idea of how it could work really well for both me and my customers, please let me know. Email me or put it in the comments. I'm always looking for new suggestions. Sometimes I actually get really good business advice from you. I really just want to like help you guys get the naturally dyed linen fabrics that you want. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that in a way that just like is like efficient and also doesn't like put me in a compromised position of having too insane of stock or like inventory on my end. Okay, segue into the next thing I'm working on kind of at the same time as this new pattern and the new fabrics, but it's being more of a side project, is I want to start more of a kind of program to help you all build your dream linen wardrobe, because I know so many of you have come to me saying, I would love if everything in my wardrobe was linen, or if just more garments in my wardrobe were linen or cotton or natural fibers in general. And you're trying to build up that wardrobe, or you at least want to. You have the concept in your head that you like the feel or the look or the contents of a natural fiber garment, and you want to maybe have a deeper connection with it by making it yourself, or you can't find the things that you want out there in the world pre-made, and so you want to bring them to life yourself, all of your creative ideas. And I really want to help you do that, because that is essentially what I have done. I've already walked through that process myself of building my dream linen wardrobe. Over the course of now 5 years, I have arguably too many garments in my dream linen wardrobe, but I've absolutely loved it. I've loved the process, and I started with just one garment, and I started sewing things that kind of worked together and looked good together and complemented each other with colors and design. And I've really built up this wardrobe where almost anything I'm doing, I can reach in my wardrobe and find something that I've made with linen fabric. And it feels really nice and soft on my skin, and it really reflects my values and my design aesthetics and all of that. It's been such a fun ride. And over these 5 years, I've been sort of kind of helping you all slowly build your dream linen wardrobe, but I would love to put a little bit more like structure and support to that goal and mission for you. So I'm thinking about how I want to do that, how I can help you plan projects better and get all the details that you need to really put your values into action. So I'm curious, if you're someone who has bought and made 3 or more of my sewing patterns, I might reach out to you soon to ask about your experience with my patterns and what your goals are for kind of slowly building up your dream linen wardrobe or dream plant-based wardrobe, whatever it is. And if you're someone who wants to, I probably don't have your email address yet. So if you're someone who wants to build your linen wardrobe or your plant-based wardrobe one piece at a time and kind of get this fully curated closet of clothes that you're so excited to reach into and put on, please feel free to email me and let me know why you want to do that and what is maybe like the number one thing that you wish I could help you with on that journey, because I'd love to help you in a more holistic way to achieve this goal. So please reach out. My email is in the description below. I would love to hear from you so you can actually help me shape this program that I want to create going into 2026. So that's a project I'm definitely going to collaborate with you all on as I keep working through it. So stay tuned, and I appreciate your feedback big time. Let's talk a little bit about mindset and what I'm kind of going into this season with. What am I thinking about? What am I trying not to think about? So something I've been generally repeating to myself to kind of cut the chaos of fear and scrambling in my head is you don't have to have it all figured out right now. You can clearly see I have a lot of projects on my hands. You probably do too, whether it's in your creative work, your day-to-day work, your life, your family, anything. And with all the content that you can consume during the day, that clouds it even more into feeling like you need to do more and be more, all this stuff. And just also, like, I think with the internet broadly, you can start to feel like the answers are out there everywhere between books and the internet and podcasts. there's an answer to every problem that I have out there. And if I just find it, if I just find what someone else wrote or said or did, I could have it all figured out. I could have this whole organized life. But I don't know, that's unrealistic. That's too much. It's too much information, and just trying to remind myself that I don't have to have it all figured out right now in this moment. I could have some stuff figured out right now, for sure, but I probably won't ever have everything all figured out at the same time. That would just be like pure nirvana, zen. I don't know what that feeling would even be, but it's probably not gonna happen. And stop chasing it like it might happen. It'll slowly come. And a tip I got from a book recently, a book called Ask This Book a Question, is that when you're dealing with kind of an overconsumption illness, almost like you're feeling like car sick from having so much information thrown at you through Instagram, YouTube, through books you're reading, podcasts. If you're one of those people, maybe like me, who wants to just keep learning, like a lifelong learner, and you're just constantly trying to learn, when you start feeling that sort of buzz of like, this is, there's so much for me to do, I've learned so much information, I don't even know what to do with it all. You start feeling this buzz, ask yourself, is there too much information coming at me right now? If yes is the answer to that, then it's probably good to take time and make meaning of the information you already have before you start adding new information. So you could think of this also as like, if you've been scrolling Pinterest too long, you save some things to your Pinterest boards and you've now saved like 100 things, but you haven't acted on any of them. Just kind of like stop adding new information to your brain and actually make meaning and process, maybe journal on or act on the things you're already consuming. So these are all reminders for me that I'm hoping sharing with you can help you in some way. It can definitely be dizzying out here in the world, and also like along these lines, I'm trying to remind myself that I repeat it to myself out loud sometimes. Like, I look around the room when I'm feeling overwhelmed or like there's too many projects to be done or feeling chaotic about something. I look around the room and remember, you are not being chased. No one is chasing you. You are in like a safe, calm room right now, or space, wherever you are. And no one is chasing you. There's a quote by Brene Brown that's like, if you don't want to be burnt out, stop living like you're on fire. I think sometimes we just like feel like we're on fire or that someone is chasing us and we need to move faster. But if you open your eyes and just like literally look around, it's just not the case. And so just making peace with that. And in general, I'm still just kind of working on my work-life balance and prioritizing my health. This has been a theme in some of my past videos as well. Basically, I've been doing this for 5 years and I really weaseled myself into a tunnel of dissociating from my body fully while working and like not taking any of my physical and mental health into consideration. So we have been on a year-long mission to make amends with the vessel that is me. And so that's just like working on things like, honestly, I got like better shoes with more support. I also like lowered my computer desk so that it's not so tall, because it's meant for like a 6-foot person. But I'm 5'1", and so I need a desk that's only like 25 inches tall. And that'll help kind of with my posture, and I've been having some fun numbness in my arms, so hopefully that'll help with that. And I got an ergonomic mouse that looks super goofy, so I'm just gonna, it's this sewing pattern work, basically. Like, we talk about ergonomics and thinking about your posture while you're sewing, but also I'm doing a lot of work on the computer to create these sewing patterns, and so I need to have a good desk setup too. and doing my daily exercise, and a huge one is I'm building in more breaks in my schedule. So just like in between tasks I have on my calendar, I'm often leaving like 10 minutes of just nothing on the calendar that either gives me time to wrap up the last task I was doing without feeling rushed, or to stand up and stretch and go pee, go pet my cats, go walk and stare at the sun for 10 minutes, like anything like that. Ultimately, I wrote down in my journal last week that something important, which is my health and my enjoyment are required for this business to keep going, basically. So without my health and me enjoying the business, Charlie Darwin will be no longer. It will not be in existence, and we can't enjoy all the fun, creative projects that come out of it. So I've got to really prioritize those two things almost above all else, and that's hard to do, but I'm doing it. Dang it. And this all kind of ties into systemizing. I'm going to setting up more systems for my sewing and my business and my creative work. Basically, during and after the Finch sewing pattern launch, I really felt like there's so much that needs to be improved here. I'm not doing things efficiently. I'm just truly not doing things efficiently. And it's slowing me down, and it's keeping me from doing the things I want to do. You know, like, I don't believe that we all need to be going faster, 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 but I also feel like if you have goals and you have things you want to do and you're just getting stuck in the weeds, we got to clear the weeds. You know, let's make it simple, let's make it efficient, and make it easy for ourselves so that we can do the stuff that we truly want to do. So I'm trying to make everything a little bit easier by everything on my list, from fabrics to sewing to running my business and creating patterns. I'm trying to make more templates that I can sort of fill out. I can repeat certain systems or processes over and over again every time I go to redo them. Making checklists of what I need to do that I just pull out the checklist every time, and I'm not relying on my brain to recall all the things and tasks I need to be doing. Cutting out any unnecessary steps, like, you know, there's certain things that maybe you're doing in your sewing or creative work that you thought were necessary, and then you realize, why am I even doing that? That's just maybe someone told me I should be, and it doesn't even move the needle. That's a pun. But it doesn't even like do much for me. It doesn't do enough for me to keep doing that task. So I'm gonna just cut it out. And lastly, outsourcing. So for me, that was like having someone else dye my fabric. And for you, that might be like, if you really hate pre-washing the fabric ahead of time, you could buy my kits. Because my sewing kits, I basically pre-wash and dry all the fabric for you so it's pre-shrunk. And that way you can just jump right into the project. So that would be an example of outsourcing, and outsourcing me buying you all the notions to go with your kit. Outsourcing also looks like purchasing a sewing pattern if you have a design in mind and you think maybe I could just come up with it on my own, but I don't really have the time or desire to do that, to self-draft a pattern. You just buy a sewing pattern. So those are all ways to outsource, and for me that looks like maybe hiring people to edit my videos or what I'm doing with someone else dyeing my fabric. So these things can all, I think, help make your sewing and creative projects just less overwhelming. And a resource I actually already put together for everyone, I think earlier this year, is a sewing prep checklist. And this is what I include in all of my sewing patterns, as well as a resource you can get if you just sign up for my email newsletter. The sewing prep checklist is awesome. It basically just goes through all the things you need to do before you start actually sewing a garment. If you've ever sewn a garment, you know there's quite a lot of lead up to actually sewing. Kind of like hours almost between buying the fabric, preparing the fabric, buying the notions, cutting out the paper pattern, cutting out the pattern of the fabric, getting your sewing machines ready, all this stuff, making height adjustments on the pattern. There's a lot to do before you start sewing, and it can really hinder your progress on the project if that's all just floating around in your brain in chaotic order. And so the sewing prep checklist is just a really simple way, something you can print out or you can check it off on the computer to organize the steps that pretty much everyone has to do before they start sewing a garment, and it batches them into sort of like task clumps of a manageable work time on a project. Because I think if you try and do all of the steps of prep all the way through finishing a garment in one long go of it, you're gonna just like cry at some point. I feel like you're just gonna get pissed, you're gonna hate sewing, you're gonna be mad at everyone. You're gonna screw up the garment. I can't promise that, but like chances are a lot higher. So it's nice to be able to break your projects up into manageable work chunks so that you keep the peace with yourself and with your fabrics and you don't end up hating it. So that's what this checklist does for you as well. You can find that by signing up to my email newsletter at charliedarwintextiles.com/newsletter sign up. All right, I feel like I've talked your ear off. This is gonna be such a long video. I really appreciate you being here. Stay tuned, get on that email newsletter if you want all these updates in real time, because we've got so much coming up. We've got the new sewing pattern, the OLENE pants, coming at the end of October, which is also gonna come with new fabric colors. So excited. And then just kind of in general, I'll be working on this concept project of build your dream linen wardrobe to help you all really start turning your one-off projects into a more holistic, supported mission and goal to get yourself a more plant-based, maybe specifically linen wardrobe, and feel really connected to it in a lot of ways. Like I have a lot to share about like the history of linen and how it's made and where it comes from and how it decomposes. So that all can be included as well if you're interested in that. Please do let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. I'm still workshopping it of what I want it to look like, and so I really appreciate your help with that. That's all for now. I hope you're enjoying the cute fall weather. No matter where you are in the world, maybe you're having spring weather right now. That's crazy. But I'm so excited to see you in the next one, and just keep in touch. All right, bye-bye.